I'm Dan Liston. I'm a professor at the University of Colorado Boulder, and I work in two different areas. One is curriculum and instruction, which includes teacher education. The other one is educational foundations. About 15, 20 years ago, I wrote a book with Ken Zeichner and edited a series of books on reflective teaching. And there was one text called Reflective Teaching, and we've been asked to produce a new edition of that. So I've been going back and examining more recent work about reflection and teaching, and attempting now to rework that concept and produce a new text taking into account some of the progress that's been made in the field and some of the further conceptual elaborations. And then for the last 10 years, I've been involved in an area called reason and emotion in teaching. And that came with a recognition that some of the emotional features that kind of got me into teaching and attracted me to teaching, I wasn't finding a lot of discussion of that realm. And so I began that 10 years ago, and over the years have come up with a kind of a conception of different kinds of love in teaching. One is attentive love, another one is enlarged love, and one is more of a romantic love in teaching. And for the last year or so, 2 years or so, I've been asked to apply those various conceptions to various other domains. So one domain has been to look at the arena of contemplative teaching and to see how those concepts apply to contemplative teaching. And another arena has been to take various concepts, and one concept would be like reverence in teaching. And so I've taken that concept of reverence in teaching and looked at it within that light. What I hope to do is to develop that further. It seems to me that there are various reigning policies at various times in the history of American public education. With regards to teacher education, I think we're at a point of great transformation now. And so it seems to me that to have and contribute to ongoing arguments about the purposes, the values, the ends, the aims is important. Much of my work and much of my work with Ken Zeichner in reflective teaching and reflective teacher education recognizes teachers as professionals who are either engaged in professional endeavor or engaged in a vocational endeavor. And right now that point of view is being contested by various state legislatures and various bodies. So to keep that perspective alive and rigorous, I think is important. I think it's also important to, within the realm of reason and emotion in teaching, to recognize the integral part that emotions play in both learning and teaching. Sometimes we attempt in our personal lives and professional lives to banish emotions. And it seems to me that there are a number of theories of emotions that sometimes can be kind of rarefied, highfalutin, and philosophically inclined, but they basically take a middle ground that says that emotions can be reasonable propositions. And so it seems to me to be an important element in teaching and also learning for us to begin to talk about the role. I think it creates greater complexity for teaching, and I think at the policy level we need to begin to recognize that complexity if we can.